Mhm. I'm really thankful to the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office in partnership with their community. Yeah. Preserving peace, helping those in need, and protecting the constitutional rights of all. Yeah. Isn't that right? Jefferson County. Is it the county auditor or the county assessor? I know that there are forms that you have to fill out to be able to get married. A lot of people think about doing it. They probably read the actual application and the instructions on how to fill it out. Now, I lost an email account today, and somebody's wanting me to spend hours and hours of frustration. Isn't that what you want? You want me in tears again that I lost 15,000 emails and 1,500,000 email addresses. Obviously, there's about 10,000 different email addresses. Now, well, it's the auditor. Yes. Why don't you get me all the necessary forms to fill out in every county auditor's office? Yes. And then the voter registration. I'm just wanting to know the IP addresses. It seems that sheriffs don't really believe that somebody that's allowed to have custody of my sons for 7.5 years, yes, shouldn't be allowed to vote. Poop. Now, you would say I don't have a valid ID. Yeah, that's right. I can't register to vote in Washington state because my driver's license is expired. And you're wanting me to pay that back child support. And when I was arrested, you did do me a favor. You didn't report it to the state of Washington. Then I had approximately $5.60 in my pocket. But you didn't seem to have a problem with the idea of giving them $1.86. Yes. Now, I would say that when Heidi, yes, signed the actual forms for the child support, yes, but didn't give me a copy of them, didn't give me notice of court hearings. Pooh. I would say that the state, yes, oh, you watch those videos, is committing the crime of theft against citizens of the United States because I did not get actual notice of court hearings. Now, for some reason you couldn't find me. Yeah. And then after 2,400,000 emails, you still can't find me. I still didn't get a copy of the dissolution of marriage. Well, you arrested me enough times. I mean, if you took the $1.86, why don't you give me a copy of the dissolution of marriage? Well, what was the problem? You took the money, you sent it to the state of Washington. I asked the state of Washington, do I owe you any money? Yes. And instead of acknowledging my rights as a citizen, right, you did me the favor of not sending the money to them that I had when I went to jail on Saturday. Yes. Now, I filled out one of these public records requests. Yes. And it was probably the auditor's office that I went to when I filled it out in 2015. And I got the oaths of office of those that they had on file that was emailed to me. Yeah. Now, I probably don't have those anymore. I might have had you send it to the Yahoo account. You know, there could be a theft in this if there's foul play. Pooh. Theft of my personal documents, every picture and every document that I emailed to every one of those email addresses. Well, you're going to obstruct me from suing those in office that happen to get elected to office. Now, there's a lawsuit in this. Let's say, okay, you reissued a protection order without any actual notice or opportunity to be heard to myself, Brent Basden. Yes. There was no attempt of service from June 1st of 2015 to June 12th of 2015. Yes. You reissued it, and 48 days later, you decided to issue it without the petitioner acknowledging it or signing it. Right. Then you served me in the Sequim Public Library to humiliate me. Yeah. And you served somebody other than myself. Oh, because it says right here, oh, return of service and then not served. Yeah. Now, as the only named petitioner or respondent on the actual form itself, yes. Um, I would have thought that I was the only person that you could serve. Now, I don't see a signature of Heidi as a protected person. No. But I see that the non-elected ex officio Superior Court clerk signature is a forgery. Yes. And I don't see a signature of the petitioner. No. hmm And I just wanted to get her signature for the voter registration because I would say that there's a considerable amount of fraud. Yes. In using forgery. Yes. And being in conspiracy. Right. Child abduction and kidnapping. Yes. hmm And that she should have been disqualified for voting or registering to vote. Now, I know you allowed her to have a Washington state voter identification number. And since this was issued on July 31st of 2015 without her acknowledgement, her consent, and the use of forgeries, what would say that I could invalidate that Washington state voter identification and then I could sue the state of Washington for issuing? Well, I'm sorry, state of Washington. It seems that the $200 billion right now is just not fucking big enough for you. So why don't I go through all the Washington state voter identification numbers? Yes, it does. Because it seems to be